back up.
You want hit? You want slapped? Do you want drugged through the mud, you hillbilly?
Well, if I wanted all that, I'd own a Milwaukee tool. But let's get to this. Let's get talking about these Bosches that we've owned for a little while. Oh my goodness. You remember that video we did, DeWalt 20 volt versus the Makita? And you held the sander a little bit on edge. The amount of, what did you do? Back it up there a little bit. Back it up, back. You were sanding like this and people were complaining.
Well, that's
Remember
not
that?
how they portray it. They said I was like...
Okay, but we're not going to do that in this video. But we're going to cover this 18 volt Bosch that we have very little experience with, and this 12 volt Bosch that we have a whole lot of experience with. Okay, let's get to it. So here, we're going to start covering this 12 volt, and I have no idea where this video is going to go. However, this tool right here, this little 12 volt, we walked by this quite a bit. And what I think is funny is Harley bought this tool. He's not even on the Bosch lineup. I am. So that means he's running my batteries. But it is one fantastic tool. If you don't watch any more of this video, just skip to the end. Actually, just skip the video and just go get yourself one of these. There's a whole lot more to this one right here. We'll cover that, but this guy's phenomenal. Let's go over some of the things that we like. All right, so the biggest thing, and Harley has a lot more experience covering this thing. By the way, the part number is GEX 12 volt-5. The biggest thing is just how close you are to the surface. No other sander, I mean, this is about the same. I mean, it is virtually the same right there, but you are so close to the actual surface that you're sanding on. Huge benefit there. Second benefit is there's literally, the overhang here is very little, so you're not fighting it wanting to, it's a very balanced sander. Why do I got this dowel over here? Outside of a pneumatic Dyna or a 3M pneumatic sander, I've never been around a cordless that I could sand around like this. Let's demonstrate it right here. It is just, it's a phenomenal sander. Hold on here, let me get this thing locked in here somehow. So most sanders, if you were trying to go around there, you would just constantly be fighting it. It's just not very, what words am I looking for? It's not, it just feels like an extension of your arm. Too tall, you're fighting it. It's wanting
like
to
the
tip.
Makita that we had, the 18 volt, really tall.
Hold on here. Let me go get it. Okay, we're back. Now, this used to be one of my favorite sanders, but look at the height difference. For goodness sakes, you can almost put two of those. But one great idea with this sander is you can actually grip it like this, but it's still really awkward.
For the same point of what you brought up with the Makita, you can run it backwards. It definitely is a little bit more awkward, but it is doable.
Okay.
I think
Hopefully we don't
best
have a
sander made
issue right there. What's that?
Best sander made.
What?
Right now, these two are irrelevant. They don't even exist in my mind.
So I thought, I'll be honest, I just thought with the 12 volt, I was like, what is the point? There's no way that thing can actually sand. I will tell you, this thing right here sands just the same speed as that.
Yep.
18 volt.
Yep.
I will say the batteries seem to last pretty decent on this.
They do. Really long.
But we're going to have,
What's that?
we should put this on a, let's get the charger and get that one on. Okay. Because I know this has a new battery. We're going to get both these charged up. Actually, we don't care. We're just gonna time them out. What's the battery on there? Oh, fully charged. Cool. And this just came off the charger. So is this? Oh, that's a 2 amp. So that's not the most even because this I know this is going to be a 4 amp. But one problem that we've had with this here is that it is constantly tipped back. So you have to consciously tip it ahead to keep it level.
That's one of my biggest things is it's going to prolong bearing life. Well, it's a shaft, but bearing life, this setting, or both of these for that matter,
Yep.
are setting up right more. With this, it's always weighing on the back end, so that means it's always going to be pushing on
I used to love this one
backside.
here.
I still think if you're doing decks, this might be a superior sander.
I don't know. Well, yeah, because
It's a little bit more powerful, a little bit, possibly a little bit more run time.
But doing small things like this, and why I drug this out here, you see that little mitered edge, that little 45? I would sand that with this. I would not dare sand it with this or this.
Right.
Because this, you just have control with this one here that you don't have with the others. We talked about it. Show us how the filter works.
So both of these are the same. This is pretty much, I think Milwaukee has a similar system to this.
No, they don't. Theirs
or maybe
was
theirs are different.
Square box or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like the.
So it's a side chute.
Just like the previous one. We're going to go ahead and dump that out. So you can tell this thing
Catches quite a bit.
it definitely catches quite a bit.
Who was it? Oh, is it? Maybe it's Fez Tool. I was just looking at the Fez Tool because Fez Tool looks pretty similar to this design-wise, and I think they have a similar bag, the side discharge.
Okay. I'm going to throw a fresh sheet of paper on this. Make sure we got fresh battery, and we're going to do our comparison on this board right here, and we're going to do it this against this one. Sound cool?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So this 12 volts. So I want you to understand you do need a 3 amp with this. I mean, it works with 2 amp, but 3 amp really helps the performance. The RPMs is identical. This 12 volt. I'm switching to the 18 volt here in a second. But the 12 and 18 volt have the same RPM, and from our experience, they sound the same. Now look at this 18 volt. I just switched to 18 volt Bosch. I'm not sure why it fights back and forth. Now we did have some crazy grain in that wood right there, but in our experience, this sander does this different times on different portions of wood, and when I turn it up on edge, you'll see it do it again. Alright, back to the Makita. This is one fantastic sander. I've never experienced a sander that beat it as far as speed, sanding, and for dust collection, but it's kind of clumsy. Okay, alright, on to the next portion. Actually, let's look this over.
They all look pretty close.
I will say, when I was watching the timer, the Makita looked like it sanded quicker.
It did.
But for what we do, just because quickness is not what's winning the race for us. This next portion is where the Bosch 12 volts really going to shine. Alright, so we had a 2 amp, or is it 2 amp? We should have had a 3 amp in here. We must have left them at our job. We have multiple 3 amps, but we've already moved to the 18 volt Bosch in this clip here. I just love, he's only using one hand here. You can tell it is moving back and forth a little bit, but the Bosch, the low center of gravity, works pretty nice. Now what we've noticed with the Makita, with it being higher, it does tend to round edges a little bit more. Some people are like, you shouldn't be sanding this way, you should be using a plane or what have you, but hey, this isn't finished carpentry right here. So you gotta do what you gotta do to get it done quick. Now this 45 here, the Bosch, whether it's the 18 or 12, you feel like you have so much more control. But it seems like I'm dogging on that Makita, but I'm really not. I think we're pretty clear that it has superior dust collection. and it's a faster sander. But for doing some of these specialty jobs that we're asking, yeah, I think that Bosch 12 volt definitely is superior. You did do it.
Surprisingly.
You did do it.
I mean, most times, if you're not watching that sander, you can mess up.
Oh,
guys, just imagine.
I have messed up so many edges with this.
Exactly. Because we do a bunch of oak thresholds. Imagine you have a 60 or a 80-inch opening, and you're writing in the center, and you're sanding along, and then it rounds it over. That piece is messed up. You got to either plane it down.
That's why I don't use this one either.
Got to do something.
Because I can't feel that it's flat, because it's always wanting to wheelie. This one here, it is so well balanced. Let me see. It's not truly balanced right there, but it's like right there. I mean, the balance line is like right there. So by the time it's really close. This one here, the balance is like, it's like way back.
I already
here.
know what these guys are thinking. They're like, what does it matter which sander I buy? When you're out there buying a $50 piece of oak threshold, I don't know that they always cost that much, but they're oak's normally going to be more expensive.
Cheap anymore.
You only got one shot, so unless you plan on buying another strip,
well, it's not even so much the expense of the wood. A lot of it has to do with the time that I have into making something.
Exactly.
A lot of times I end up making a one-off piece.
Let me see.
That fits.
This piece right here is something that was made.
Perfect.
You made this. That's not somewhere
there you go.
You can't buy that from the store.
There you go. So all right. We're just showing you a little bit. We're not saying it's the best. We're not saying it's fastest. Hey, check out the dust. Let's see how the dust collection works.
All right, so
we know the Makita works phenomenal. All right, so I cut out the sanding portion where I was timing it. But one thing I want to stress in this video is I think the reason why you're going to buy the Bosch, whether it's 12 or 18, is how compact, how low it is to the material, and the maneuverability. I think this is probably these two sanders you probably have the most control of any sander out there. Dust collection, they all do decent. I went ahead and cut that out because the video is kind of getting long. And yeah, so they were all timed at 2 minutes on, like a minute on the edge profile, and I forget how long, 30 seconds on the edge. But I didn't want an hour-long video, so
yeah, I'm noticing a little bit more with Makita from that little bit of sanding there.
Yep.
So,
all right.
You think this concludes the video?
We're gonna wrap this video up. So, the little Bosch 12 volt. That's primarily what this video is about. Is this guy right here? It's not a joke. It isn't. He is sanded hundreds. Casing. Quarter round.
Yep.
How do you sand
exactly
any of that stuff with this? You can't.
Quarter round casing, door jambs, drywall, weird areas.
The next video I will show my other Makita that I've switched to. So for really hogging stuff down, I've replaced it with a newer Makita. Other than that, and this guy does all of our detail sanding.
Yep.
See ya.